There we go. Hi everyone, welcome to our training. I'm so excited to be here today, and we haven't done one of these masterclasses for a while, so it's nice to see all of you again and to be on here, and a really exciting day for us because today I am going to introduce to you and just discuss a little bit more in detail about the new 80 base from the EVO range, which is really had our channels in a buzz over the last few days, so it's really exciting for us. And then I'm just going to be on here to answer any questions that you have and just to discuss 80 base as well as some of our other treatments in a little bit more detail and how to incorporate 80 base into your gel overlay treatments in your salon. So I'm seeing everyone jump onto the training. It's so nice to see some of you. I know your names. It's nice to see you again. We have people joining from Mauritius, Switzerland, New Zealand, Melbourne in Australia. It's really nice to see all of you on here, and I know everyone's on different times all over the world, so good morning, good afternoon, good evening from wherever you're joining. Okay, so let's get started. 80 base, how exciting. We launched a week ago today, and like I said, it's just been a whirlwind and a buzz, and it's just been a really exciting week for all of us at Base&Build, and an exciting week for you as a nail tech. Whenever we introduce something new, it's really exciting to introduce that to our field and to our clients, and obviously we need to grow and we need to adapt and we need to get used to this new product. So that's what we're going to do today. So if you have any questions, you are going to chat with me in the chat box. If I don't get back to you immediately, I will go through all the questions by the end, and if I missed anything, I'll get back to you afterwards. Right, so let us get started. So I'm just going to discuss 80 base in a little bit more detail with you and just go over the benefits and the advantages of 80 base, and like I said, how to explain to you how to incorporate 80 base into your treatments. So often whenever we get a new product or whenever we're working in our everyday life, I find that we pick up bad habits and we often stick to one thing that we are comfortable with, one thing that we like. And often we actually doing ourselves in because we're not reaching our true benefits that we should be reaching. So you're not reaching that peak that you should be reaching by sticking to one application routine and sticking to one treatment routine as you go. So we want, and gel does, and if you are using Flex on every single client, for instance, book a refresher with your educator. Go in and spend an hour with her and just go over the treatment gels. You are missing out on the advantages and the benefits that the other treatment gels offer, and you're missing out on how to combine the systems together and the gels together to reach the true benefits that you can. Okay, so let's get started. 80 Base&Build. I can't see any of you in the chat box at the moment, so I'm not ignoring your questions in the chat box. I will get to them just now. I'm just going to go through a bit of the presentation and then we will have time for questions. Okay, so 80 Base&Build. What is in the name? Why is it called 80 base? Where does the name 80 base come from? So 80 base has got to do with the actual product and the formulation of the product, and then obviously how the product was engineered. So that I always think of, if I look at the 80 base, think of your infinity symbol. And for me, that's what 80 base represents. It's an infinite bond of product to the natural nail. It promotes bonding. I'll get to the benefits just now, but just so that you know a little bit more of where 80 base came from. Okay, so and that's why I chose to use it here in my presentation. Two of the things that stand out the most for me with 80 base is the exceptional bonding, the really nice regrowth. You don't need to have a thick application. It's a really nice, pleasant, thin regrowth, yet it's strong and supportive enough for the client's natural nail. And then the next thing, and this is what's been going crazy on social media, is the removal, the easy release gel removal of 80 Base from the nail plate, where especially on very thin and soft nails where you used to struggle with your removal and the product used to really hold onto the nail plate, you now see 80 Base remove in almost a single sleeve or film from the natural nail. So those are two things that stand out. So how do we get a really good bond but a really good easy release removal at the same time? So 80 Base&Build has a unique feature, and that is a keratin-like link. And what that is it's got to do with the keratin formulation of the product that is encouraging a keratin bond with the natural nail. So we are increasing the bonding of product to the dry keratin of the nail plate. You're getting a really strong and supportive bond without causing any damage to the natural nail. And because of that keratin formulation, we have an easy release removal. And how that works is that the moment the product, the 80 Base, is exposed to gel remover, those keratin links and that keratin formulation starts breaking down. And that is when you are seeing this remarkable easy release removal from the nail plate. Even on your clients that you used to struggle with soaking, you are seeing a much easier release of product from the nail plate. So I've been asked so often now in the last week, how long do I wrap the nails for? So I wouldn't say your time saving with 80 Base hasn't got to do with how long we wrapping the nails with gel remover. So I'm still soaking in foil for a 10 to 15 minute period. But where you are saving time is once you remove that foil, the gel is coming off in a single piece or a single sleeve. So your removal process is so much quicker. Okay, so you have less work to do on the nail plate afterwards. Okay, so there seems to be a problem with my presentation. Let's have a look. Okay, just let's try and figure out what could be wrong with my presentation. Just give me a second. I'm just checking what's happening on my side.
It's running. Okay.
Okay, so I'm going to keep the presentation on this view for now, just so that you can see everything as I am working. Okay, so let's have a look over here quickly. Okay, so there I can see you were struggling to see, but we should be okay for now. All right, so we have mentioned the unique formulation of the keratin formulation of 80 Base. That also results in a really easy release removal of product from the nail plate. What can we use 80 Base for? 80 Base&Build is obviously a bonding base layer and a upper arch strengthening layer, our building layer. Remember, your base layer and your building layer are two separate layers. They should never ever be done in the same layer. So when you apply your base layer to the natural nail, you should only be applying your base layer for one reason. You are applying your base layer to achieve bonding of product to the nail plate. With our base layer application, although it will provide a durable application onto the nail plate, our base layer is not done for upper arch shape. It is not done for upper arch strength or strength for length of the nail. It is only done for your bonding base layer. Once you've cured your base layer application, your flat base layer, you will then go and apply your upper arch strengthening layer. And in this layer, this is where you are getting a strong and durable support to the nail. If you have very long nails, your upper arch strengthening layer is the layer that is giving your nails the support that they don't bend back and forth, that they don't break. All right. So we know that 80 Base&Build is a good bonding base layer and a building layer. When would we use 80 Base? So 80 Base is your go-to medium base and builder. So your medium base and builder, so for your medium type of nails, if your client's natural nail is really super soft and very thin, I would suggest that you rather use Flex as your base layer or soft gel from Biogel as your bonding base layer. But then you can use 80 base as your upper arch strengthening layer thereafter. Could 80 base be used on a medium type of nail as a base layer? Definitely. Could 80 base be used on a really naturally hard and strong natural nail? Definitely. So the only time that we would steer clear from 80 base is possibly on a really super thin and soft nail as a base layer. There might be a better option of Flex or soft gel in that case. Okay. One of my favorite features of 80 base is a base layer for toe overlays. I have 80 base on my pedicure station. I use it on every single toe overlay that I do, and I really get good results. I get lasting toe overlay applications between 6 to 8 weeks, and when I soak off, you can just imagine the soak off is so quick. So it's really, the soak off is almost adding no additional time to my toe overlay treatment. I would then remove the gel and go straight into nail plate preparation, following with my next gel overlay. Okay. All right. So some of you are saying it's not showing properly on your phone, but it is on your computer. It might be because it's a live stream. If you watch afterwards, we will send all of you the link. It will show properly over then. Okay, so moving on, I'm going to just show you one or two things here anyway, and then I'm going to move on to a practical demonstration. So one of my favorite things about 80 base is that it builds the most beautiful upper arches. It has a crystal clarity finish. It really has a beautiful, beautiful finish. And you can just see over there that it builds really beautiful upper arches. These are done by some of our content creators that have just really done amazing work with 80 base. So yeah, you can see on the screen that 80 base can be used on more of your shorter nail types. It can also be used on your much longer nail types as well, or your longer nail lengths. So you would always choose your treatment gel based on your nail type and your nail plate condition. I can talk the whole day about nail plate analysis. I did a training last night, and during that training I also spoke to them about how it's almost an open topic of conversation in the salon where I'm based, where we are 3 nail technicians, and often we will end up doing each other's clients for whatever reason. And the first thing that we will ask is, what did you do on this client? And then if I always say to my techs during training, and it's something, if you have a pen and paper, make a note of it today and really think about it, is analyze your regrowth. It's a point that we often look past, but you need to analyze your regrowth. So when your client comes back from a 2 or 3 or 4 week wear of gel on her nails, have a look at her nails. Are the nails still strong enough? Was she complaining that her nails were bending? That's the first indication to you that her nails were not strong enough. Was there any chipping? Was there any lifting? If the overlay lasted beautifully and perfectly, then you've got your treatment routine down. But if there is 1 or 2 issues, like an odd chip here and there or an odd lift here and there, you can use your treatment range of gels to get a better lasting application. But you need to understand your gels. And like I said, I can talk the whole day about nail plate analysis. But the beauty of BioSculpture is the wide range of treatment gels that we offer from the Biogel range and the EVO range. And with those treatment gels, you are able to customize a unique treatment plan for each client and for each time that she visits you in the salon. Okay. All right, so let's move on. This is just showing you, if you can see nicely over there, the client's natural nails after removal. This is immediately after removal. There's no working on the nail plates or preparation on the nails yet, so you can see they just look really healthy. And this is done by one of our educators as well. She had a client that has really bad white dehydration marks on the nail, and these will show especially after gel removal. So on that client, she that day with the before photo applied 80 base for the first time on the client's nails, and the second photo that you can see on the right, you can see a huge improvement after just one time of wearing 80 base on the applying 80 base on the client's nails. So that just shows you the remarkable improvements. So earlier on, I spoke to you about the keratin formulation and then the easy release of the product. But what we also seen with 80 base is that 80 base has 2 nail conditioners in the product. So you can imagine that you are getting a really good bonding of product, but you are also getting a really a product that is just offering goodness to the natural nail. So with those 2 nail conditioners, this is why you are seeing such a big improvement in the condition of your client's nails. This is just to show you that 80 base can be cured with any of your BioSculpture curing units. So your V3 Deluxe curing units, your Ultra curing units, or for those of you that have a Spectra curing unit, 80 base cures well in any of those units. Okay. Okay, so someone's asking, so it's a bit like conditioning gel, but in an EVO. It is similar to conditioning gel in the fact that it has a nail conditioner or conditioners like conditioning gel, but the properties are completely different. So the texture of the gel is different, the properties of the gel is different, so there are different properties. Conditioning gel is especially beneficial for the client that has really sore, really thin and damaged nails, whereas 80 base is for your medium type of nails. So you would use them in different instances. Just make a note for yourself as well. How long do we cure 80 base for? 80 base as a flat base layer cures for 30 seconds. For your upper arch strengthening layer, so this is the layer where we are adding more product to do a better bond to the natural nail, we are curing that layer for 60 seconds. Okay, so I am going to just show you, I'm not sure if you'll be able to see this on my presentation. Some of you are saying it's a bit blurry, but it's not a problem because I will carry on with my application just now. So let's talk about removal of 80 base. I unfortunately didn't have 80 base on my nails today, so I can't show you a live removal, but I am going to show you the video here. So I have paused it. With your removal, and I will show this to you just now as well, is you're going to have some essential products ready with your gel removal. So you want to have your gel remover, and your gel remover, you'll see in my video now, has a spout which makes it really easy to apply. There is no mess, no wastage, and you also only applying gel removal to the gel remover to the nail. You are not flooding the skin with solution. Remember, we want to be exposing the gel to gel remover. We don't want to be exposing the skin and everywhere else to gel remover. Okay, and then you would need your almond oil. So starting from over here, you will remove the top layers of your gel as normal. You will see there that on the buff surface, you apply almond oil. The almond oil just keeps the nail hydrated during the removal process. You then going to apply your gel remover. So you can see there we applied with the spouts, and then you wrap. So at this point, I leave it wrapped for 10 to 15 minutes. And then you are going to start removing the gel. If you cannot see this video clearly, just jump onto BioSculpture Official on Instagram. When we're done with this, it is on their grid as well, this exact video. So you can go and have a look at a few of the removal videos with 80 base over there. But there you can see that it is removing in a single sleeve. It's just really easy release removal. The nails are in a really healthy condition. And this is after a 3-week wear. This one in particular is really nice. You can see it just comes off in a complete single film over there. But like I said, go and watch this video in more detail where you can actually see that gel coming off on by Sculpture's Instagram page. Okay, and that I wanted to just pause over there to show you that was one hand removal over there. And yeah, you can actually see how the gel is coming off in a single piece and just popping off as it is removing. Okay, so let us have a look. So someone is asking, can you get the gel remover spouts in New Zealand? Get in contact with your distributor. They will be able to give you more information over there. And then our next question is, if you apply almond oil, will you have a problem with application lifting afterwards? Absolutely not, because you will still be fully preparing the nails thereafter. So if you are doing gel removal and you buff your gel surface and you apply a layer of almond oil, it is keeping the nail in a hydrated condition throughout the gel removal process. So your gel is releasing easier from the nail. You will then apply your gel remover, you will remove the gel, you will do your nail plate preparation, let your client rinse her hands, and then proceed with your overlay application. Okay, someone is asking here, can we apply 80 base over conditioning gel? You definitely can. So you would apply conditioning gel if your client's nail is thin, very damaged, or in a sore condition. You would then definitely choose conditioning gel as your base layer option. You would cure it, and then after you've cured your base layer, you will then apply 80 base as your upper arch strengthening layer. And because 80 base is a medium flexibility gel, it will give you enough strength and support to your nail, but you will get the benefits of the conditioning gel on the nail plate. Can we use 80 base for a full cover tip? I was getting to that just now. You definitely can. It is my favorite gel to use as the application and bonding layer of a full cover tip application. Okay, so we actually have 1 or 2 videos on it, and I will ask our team if we could also post that on our Instagram at some point soon, just to show you the full cover tip application with 80 base as well. Okay, so let's get back over here. Before we move on to application, do you have any other questions that you would like to ask me about 80 base or any of our other treatment gels? Okay, so let's quickly recap 80 base. We have, in my personal opinion, technology like we've never seen before. So we have a unique product that offers a keratin formulation, keratin-like formulation, and that creates a keratin link, linking the gel to the keratin of the nail plate. We are seeing with 80 base the most remarkable easy release of product during gel removal, and then you have the 2 conditioners. So 80 base is just reaching for the stars, and your opportunities are endless. Can you do a full with 80 base? You definitely can do a full with 80 base, especially on your full cover tips. It works really well. So if you have done a full cover tip application and you've used 80 base as your application layer and your bonding layer of your full cover tip, when your client comes back in 2 or 3 weeks, you will do your full procedure as normal, and then you can use 80 base as your bonding base layer again. And what I love about using 80 base with a full cover tip application is the removal is just, you've never seen a full cover tip remove like that with 80 base. So your removal is much easier and much quicker with your full cover tips. Okay, someone just asked about curing times again. So Gemma, your curing time is 30 seconds as your bonding base layer, 60 seconds as your upper arch strengthening layer. If in doubt, cure for 60 seconds. Okay. Can you create an upper arch with 80 base? The application is similar to conditioning gel or to regular base. You definitely can. I am going to do a demonstration now for you to have a look at. How different is 80 base to Apex gel? Completely different. Apex gel is not a base layer. So that's the first difference. Second difference is that Apex gel is really hard and strong. So it can only be used in certain applications. It cannot be used on your, it shouldn't be used on your shorter nails, on your much more flexible nails, etc. So 80 base, I would say, is a little bit more versatile and will be used a little bit more than what your Apex gel would. Okay. Okay, so someone is asking that you remember having a slight reaction to the EVO range. How would 80 base fit in over here? It's very difficult to say because it depends what you are reacting to. So it depends what ingredient you are allergic to. That you would only be able to really find out through more intricate testing, allergy testing. But I would always say, if you would like to try, do a trial test on 1 or 2 of your nails. Don't go ahead and do a full set just to start with, and then see from there how your skin or your nail reacts. If, for instance, you are struggling with allergies, but you find one gel in particular works for you, I would also rather say stick to that gel, because it just means that there's nothing in that product, there's no ingredient that you are sensitive to, and don't fix what's not broken. So be careful with that. And like I said, if you would like to try 80 base, I would say try it on 1 or 2 nails and then see from there how you react. I personally haven't had any of my clients reacting at all to 80 base, and I've done hundreds of applications with it so far. Just a little interesting fact for you to know is that 80 base has been in development for 10 years already. So SCULPTURE has really just produced the most phenomenal product, and it has really been tested in great depth. Okay, let's go on. We've got a few more questions. Is 80 base replacing oxygenating base? So for those of you that don't know, oxygenating base has been discontinued. Depending where you are based, some of your distributors may still have oxygenating base in stock. Others may be out of stock completely already. 80 base is essentially a replacement option for oxygenating base, but it is a completely different product. It still has it is a medical grade formulation, so it is a medical graded formulated product, as well as it is permeable as well. Okay. Let me quickly go. You guys are typing faster than what I'm talking. Okay. Do I find that flex dehydrates the nail? Is this when it's applied too thin? No. So the thinness of the application would not have an effect, but then I would definitely change. If you find that it's not working with that client's nail, remember your nails change. Your nails change with medication. Your nails change if you are in a very stressful situation. Your nails change with the season. So I'm based in Johannesburg in South Africa, and we have an exceptionally dry and very dehydrating, a very harsh climate in the winter months. So we often during our winter months will need to adapt our treatments a little bit, just so that we can get a better option for the winter months. So always keep your client cards handy and keep your notes on your client cards, because that is going to guide you towards your gel selection. So if you are finding flex is dehydrating the nail, I'm not exactly sure why it could be dehydrating the nail. Send a few photos to your educator, let her have a look, but then definitely change your routine a little bit. I would then use conditioning gel or 80 base on that client to see if the conditioners will just calm the dehydration. Okay, so next question we have over here, we have a client with a problem with clients experiencing heat sparks or heat spasms during application. Curing mask of the products. Okay, so you're using the new ultra curing unit. So let your educator know, Sanele, I don't know if I'm saying your name correctly, I hope I am. Let your educator know exactly what of the gels is causing the heat spike. Let us look into it and we will try and assist you with that to get the heat spikes down. It could be that, especially your base layer, you're applying it too thick, but let us chat with your educator and then she'll be able to help you a little bit more. Okay. Okay, so we have a question. Some of the marketing material says that, I assume you're referring to 80 base, doesn't leave any volatile chemicals after curing, but aren't all bases like that? So it's not. So bases cure differently. So all products cure differently. And it's not to say that any of the other products are curing harshly. Remember, like I said, 80 base has been in development for 10 years. Most of our other products are in development for a great length of time as well before we launch. So it just means that the curing structure of 80 base is different. So we have a lot of scientists and a doctor on our team that can help you. So if you would like a more detailed answer, we can get you one. But basically, in a nutshell, what is happening with oxygenating base is that there's no free floating particles after curing. So what often causes problems is free floating particles. And after the curing of 80 base, we see none of those free floating particles. So we are seeing a thorough through cure of products. Will oxygenating base still be available? Unfortunately not. Due to supply chain issues, it has been discontinued. Can you do extensions with 80 base? You can do the most beautiful extensions with 80 base. So you could combine 80 base with your natural white or with your free edge gel, or you could just use 80 base to build your extensions, especially for your shorter type of extensions. If you are doing a client that is going to have a very long extension, then I would say start with your 80 base as your bonding base layer, but then incorporate it with contour or with apex gel to give a little bit more strength for that very long length of nail or that long extension. Okay. So we have a question there. Some of your clients are reacting to contour. What could it be? Often it's coming down to the application, and I'm not saying your application is necessarily incorrect, but Juliana, get in contact with your educator. Let her know more about your treatment routine. So let her know you've spoken to us, let her know about your treatment routine, and it's probably that your base layer is applied too thickly, or we're not getting a proper cure at some point, and it could be that there is uncured product remaining on the nail plate. So chat to your educator, she will give you a lot more information. Okay, I'm going to just answer one or two more questions and then we are going to go to a practical application. How does 80 base and build differ from contour? Again, it's a similar question to what we got just now. How is 80 base different to apex gel? So contour is a much stronger product or a much more solid product than what 80 base is. So 80 base is more versatile in that sense because it can be used on a wider range of applications. Contour, being a really hard and solid product, should only ever, as a base layer, if you choose to use contour as a base layer, it should only ever be used on a really naturally hard and strong nail. You should never use contour as a base layer on a thin or medium type of nail. It is too hard. So what you could do is you could then use 80 base as your bonding base layer, your flat base layer application, and then you could incorporate contour as your upper arch strengthening layer if you would like a more solid end result. Okay, can you apply 80 base on flex as a strengthening layer? You definitely can. It's a great combination because you are giving your client's nail durable support at the end of the day, but you're giving a flexible support. And when I talk about flexibility, it is not to say that the nail is thin and soft and flexible, for instance. I mean, if you have a look over there, I don't know if you can see yet, and I've soaked off this nail that you'll see just now. My nails are quite long at the moment, or growing longer. And I have only flexible gels on my nails, but they feel completely hard and strong. And all that means is that the flexible gels are giving my flexible nail they are compatible support. So I'm not getting chipping, I'm not getting lifting, because the flexible is complementing my flexible natural nail. Okay, let us move on. 80 base is at a higher flexibility than bio base. I would say that if you had to compare bio base and 80 base, they are very similar in comparison, however slightly different. So I would say that your 80 base is curing a little bit harder than what bio base is. Bio base is a little bit more flexible. Let's have a look here. Will 80 base need to be refined before your color application? Essentially for biogel colors, no, but it is always a good idea to cleanse that layer and just give it a quick bath, because you are always then getting, number one, a smoother, neater application, but number two, you are getting better bonding of color, as well as sometimes you sit and wonder, sure, do I need to wipe? Don't I need to wipe? I'm getting confused. Rather cleanse, do a quick buff over that nail. It is essentially not even adding 2 minutes to your treatment time. You have, as I said, a much smoother, much neater surface, and then you are doing your color application. Okay, for EVO colors, they should always be applied to a buff surface. Okay, can 80 base do anything to thin but hard and brittle nails? Okay, so thin and brittle nails are two completely different conditions and types of nails. A brittle nail is a nail that has lost flexibility. So it's almost those flexible layers that join the nail plate layers together. It's lost that flexibleness on the nail. So with a thin nail and soft nail has a lot of flexibility. You can almost bend it. You can really bend it in your C curve. With a brittle nail, you are seeing loss of that flexibility. So a brittle nail, you are seeing chipping, you are seeing breaking. It's really difficult to grow a brittle nail naturally. So 80 base, because of the conditioners, will be excellent for a brittle nail, because it will really condition that brittle nail, and it will promote more natural flexibility in the nail plates. With a thin and soft nail, in some cases the 80 base may be a little bit too hard for that very thin and soft nail. Then you may want to, I would say, bring in soft gel or EVO Flex as your flat base layer application, and then use 80 base as your upper arch strengthening layer. Okay, so give me a second to get ready for my demonstration quickly. Okay, so you can see over there I have soaked one nail quickly for us to use. I have prepared it so that I can go straight into the demonstration. And here we have our guest of honor. We have our 80 Base&Build. Okay, so let us just have a look at it. So you can see it's got a really nice clarity. It is crystal clear. And we're going to go over the application a little bit. So let's quickly have a look and do a little bit of analysis on my nail. So you can see I've obviously bumped it. I do have a little bit of a mark over there, but nothing to worry about. It's nothing big. It's not affecting the whole nail. I will just mark it on my client card and monitor it. So I have done cuticle preparation already just to save a little bit of time. So I naturally have quite a long nail bed, but I have very soft and flexible nails. I don't have a naturally hard nail. So you can see even in my movement of my free edge there, I have a lot of natural movement on my nail. So that automatically tells you that you could never do a 4-layer overlay on this length nail. I need a 5-layer overlay. And I need a strong and supportive upper arch layer. The next thing as well is, can you see that I have a slight dent in my upper arch of my nail over there? That's not a problem because 80 Base is going to fix that beautifully. So I am just getting my upper arch brush ready to use with my application. Okay, so on your prepared natural nail, I have done my gel removal, I have prepared my cuticle outline, I have filed and shaped my nail, and I beveled over the surface using my grey patch. Okay, so the nail is completely prepared. Now you have a choice of which ethos treatment you want to be doing. Okay, so I have a choice of using my vitamin dose combined with one of my bases over here. So my vitamin dose combined with either lavender base, volcanic base, or seaweed calcium base. You would pair this according to your nail type. For your healthier nails or for very damaged sore nails, you will do your lavender base. For thin and soft nails, we will do our volcanic base. And for your brittle nails or hard nails or nails that are dry, just not looking great, we will use our seaweed calcium base. Okay, so that is your first option. But then if you get to know your client's nails and she is a client, someone like a doctor or a nurse or a hairstylist that's exposed to excessive amounts of water during the day, or someone that has naturally oily and very sweaty, moist hands, SBS works brilliantly for that type of nail. Okay, so SBS is a special prep solution which assists with better bonding of gel product to the keratin of the natural nail. It's a non-acid product, so it's completely safe for our nails to use, and it really just promotes nail health as well. I find that whenever I use SBS on my clients, I really do see an improvement on their nails. Okay, so I am not a client that struggles with lifting. You can see my nails are grown out. I don't struggle with lifting at all, so I'm just going to prepare quickly, put my glove on to do a gel overlay just to show you. Okay, so I'm not going to be using SBS on my nails. What I'm going to be doing is taking either a cotton square or a nail wipe, taking your vitamin dose and applying a few drops of vitamin dose to the nail wipe, and then using your nail wipe to apply, almost using a patting motion, apply the vitamin dose to the nail. Okay, you can see it absorbs really quickly to the nail. It must be completely dry before you apply your pre-gel treatment. So I am going to use lavender base just to encourage my nail health. For me, lavender base is such a phenomenal product. I really have seen remarkable differences with it. And you are going to, as you saw, I wipe most of the product off on the rim of the bottle. And then what you're going to do is just in the center of the nail, using a side with brush stroke, so using a side stroke, just to the center of the nail, you are applying some lavender base. So you can see I haven't touched the top, the bottom of my nail, or the sides. It's only very little in the center of the nail. If you see from the side view, you can't even see the application from the side view. You cannot apply this product over the whole nail because you will get lifting. So it's just applied to the center of the nail, and then you will leave that to dry. A trick is that as the product dries, it starts losing some of the shine. So that's how I would always know. At this point, I would prepare my gel brushes, get your brush holder, get your utensils and your brushes ready that you will be using. And then I would go back and it would be completely dry. A nice way to test if this product is dry, you are going to take your buffer and just do a soft buff over, and there I can see it's completely dry. Okay, just take your dusting brush to remove that. Okay, and now we are going to start with our 80 base application. So we've already discussed on my nail, I need a 5-layer overlay because I need that extra strength and support. So we will do the bonding base layer, which is only done for bonding of product to the nail plate, and then I will do my upper arch strengthening layer. And I have decided today that I am going to be doing a red. I never wear red, but I did feel like red today, so I'll be doing a red like Scarlet, or probably number 19 or number 20 from Biogel. Okay, so let's start with our application. For your flat base layer, you're going to remove the product. We want to prevent the shaft of the brush being flooded with product, and then you're going to pick up a small amount to the one side of the brush. Okay. You're then going to, let me position myself so you can all see. You're then going to start with your gripping foundation layer. So at this point, I'm offloading the product. I'm fitting the brush into the cuticle outline. So there you can see I get a perfect fit. And there you extend your brush down. Okay. So get your brush to fit into the cuticle outline again. Place your brush. Remember, you are creating the regrowth line. Let's do some sideward strokes. You really want to use a hard pressure at this point and grip that product around the dry keratin of the nail plate. Get as close to the side walls as you possibly can. So you can see at this point I really thin out that product. Okay. What I'm going to do is just using my brush to seal the free edge a little bit, and I'm going to use that little bit of product that's still available on my brush, picking that up and using really soft brush pressure at this point. You can see now I'm using no pressure on my brush. I'm just creating a smooth finish over that very thin gripping layer that I applied. I'm extending the brush past the free edge, and there you have your flat base layer application. Okay, so I'm going to now cure for 30 seconds. Okay, oopsie, I bumped it a little bit there. So we're going to cure it for 30 seconds. I'm just moving out of the lights. It's flashing on the screen, but it's not flashing in real life. So your flat base layer, let's go over our flat base layer. We've applying the flat base layer to a really well prepared natural nail. You are doing a gripping foundation layer as your initial layer, and then after you've done that gripping layer and you've really gotten the product to grip well to the nail plate, you will just end up with a smooth application layer after that. Flat base layer of 80 base cures for 30 seconds. So there I have my flat base layer. Okay, so there you can actually see that dent on my free edge. So let's start with our upper arch strengthening layer. So I'm using 80 base again. 80 base, my nails love 80 base. So you can see there is the droplet that I'm using. You're going to offload in the center of the nail. You're then going to do a smooth layer over the entire nail. This layer will become the layer that your arch will level with. Okay, so cover your side walls. Get a nice even layer to cover the entire nail. So there's your smooth layer. That layer is giving a little bit more of a durable support, but can you see it hasn't fixed my arch at all? I still have a little bit of a flat section there, and I still haven't given my stress area over here enough strength. Okay, so we've done our smooth layer. We're then going to take our brush and offload. The amount of product that you offload depends on how much you want to use in your upper arch. Okay. You're then going to now switch to your upper arch brush. Have a look at the angle at which I'm using. And now you are going to use that upper arch brush to pull the droplet of gel back. So from the center, you are pulling towards the middle, and that is your apex. So you are pulling the gel towards the apex of the nail. You are not pulling it towards the cuticle outline of the nail. And a good way is if you look at this view. So this is my view that I'm looking at the moment. I'm looking at the front view of the nail. And there I can see where I need to shape the gel a little bit more. So can you see I'm using long and controlled strokes, and that is allowing me to move and position the gel to where I need it. You can use your upper arch brush to detail your side walls. And there is your upper arch layer. And what I've done now is I've really strengthened zone 1 and 2 of my nail. I have given it enough support to create enough strength to the nail. So select your 60-second cure, because this is your upper arch strengthening layer. So I do want to cure for 60 seconds. And while it is curing, let's just recap what we've done. I did a flat base layer, gripping and smooth application, flat base, cured it for 30 seconds. After curing, I did another smooth layer, which is the foundation layer of my upper arch, and then I used extra gel on the free edge of the nail to create my upper arch. Okay, so let us have a look at a few questions that we have over here. Let me see. Why can't we use 80 base with flex? You definitely can use 80 base with flex, but you would then, if you choose to use it that way, you would first apply your flex base layer, and flex should only be applied on a really thin, very flexible nail. So you would use your flex, you would apply a thin gripping foundation layer and your smooth layer, your base layer, and then you would cure it for 60 seconds, and then you would apply 80 base as your upper arch strengthening layer. Okay. Someone is saying that they have a tricky client who always gets center pocket lifting if you use an ethos base. She has very thin and flexible nails. Then don't use an ethos base. Use SPS on her and don't use an ethos base. Rather than retail the vitamin dose to her, so then you would retail her a bottle of vitamin dose, and then explain to her in her regrowth area, she's going to apply the vitamin dose to the regrowth area, but then into the inner C curve of the nail as well. Okay, so that would be all the vitamins that the nails need, a very large group of B vitamins. You would just allow that vitamin dose to almost absorb, and then once the vitamin dose has absorbed, you will then also retail her an almond oil. So these are two products that you should always have stocked on your shelves at all times. These are two products that nearly probably every single client will be purchasing from you. Okay. Alright, so I have cured my upper arch strengthening layer. What I am going to do now is cleanse. Let's see. Okay, can you see when I cleanse, you placing your wipe onto the nail and you in a single stroke wiping downward. So you're not wiping any sticky residue into the cuticle outline at all, and the nail is completely removed of the sticky residue. Depending how well you build your upper arch will determine how much buffing you have to do and shaping. So I'm going to have a look here. I could shape it down a little bit more with my cuticle outline. If I look into my C curve, you can see I have a really nice apex line over there, and I don't have thickened barrel sides, but have a look from what we had earlier on to how supportive that nail is now. Okay, so all I'm going to do at this point is take my thin black file. I'm going to just smooth down at the cuticle outline. That was the area that I wanted to just get a little bit thinner. The trick that I can give you today is that the thinner the gel is at your cuticle outline, the longer your gel will last in that area. The thicker the gel is, you will start getting more lifting. Gel does not become strong from thickness. Gel becomes strong from the correct apex placement. Remember that. Gel does not become stronger from thickness. Gel becomes stronger from correct apex placements. Okay, so you give it a quick buff. You're going to dust off. You don't have to cleanse again as long as you remove all the dust from the cuticle outline. There is your apex, your 80 base applied into my apex. So you can see I have a natural apex. It looks natural. It looks thin and beautiful, and it is completely strong and supportive on my nails. So I've done my base layer. I've done my upper arch strengthening layer, so that means now my color is going to go onto a beautiful shaped upper arch layer, and I am then going to apply 2 layers of color and end off with a gloss top coat. Okay, so that is our 80 base demonstration. If I have missed any questions, I can get back to them at a later stage, but also let me know now if you would like to stay on and just ask a few questions, if you have any other questions about 80 base. It was great seeing you all today, and we have a really exciting giveaway. We will also post it on our social media page as well. So for all of you joining today, get your friends to join as well. You don't have to have only joined today. It's running on our Instagram. What you can do is just share your experience with us from today's training or your experience with 80 base. So what did you learn that really stood out to you from today's training? What are you taking home from today's training that you really enjoyed? What do you enjoy most about 80 base? Share anything you would like with us about 80 base. You are going to share it to your story on your page, and you are going to tag us by Sculpture Official on Instagram, and you will then use the hashtag, which is bio masterclass 80 base. So I will put it here for you. So hashtag there we go, hashtag bio masterclass 80 base, and you will have a look at Instagram bio sculpture or bio_official, and it is on there. You will find us easily. Post to your story, share your experience with us of 80 base. What did you enjoy from the training? What did you enjoy about 80 base? And the competition is running until 10 o'clock South African time tomorrow morning, so it's 24 hours from right now, and we will choose a random winner, and you will win the brand new 80 base, a upper arch brush which I use to create my upper arch now, as well as a really nice cuticle oil. So a really nice spoil for you. And yes, thank you for joining. I can't wait to see all of your stories and what you enjoyed about the training. And we are always here if you have questions. Get in contact with us, with your educator, and we will be happy to help. Okay, thanks everyone for joining. We will see you at our next masterclass, and I hope you have a great day. Can you be in the UK and enter? You definitely can, wherever you are based. It is running on by Sculpture Official, but if you end up being the winner, good luck to all of you. We will then have your prize delivered to you. Okay. Bye everyone. Have a wonderful day and enjoy 80 base.